Less than 5 years ago, he turned down a contract with an MLB organization.
I get a call from the Diamondback scout, the head Diamondback scout, and he was like, we want to offer you a contract. And so I called my coach, called my dad, and they were like, go back to school, get a degree, and then get drafted next year. And then COVID happened.
Once he finished college, he had to work as an Instacart shopper while living at home with his parents.
That's when I realized this can be it.
But now Jackson Olson is one of the most famous baseball players in the world, just 3 years after he thought he'd be quitting the sport forever.
And that's when I realized it was done. I'm done. I moved to California. I started just doing working like with small companies, and then Major League Baseball reached out.
So how did he get here? And what was Jackson's secret to going from a Division I baseball player who didn't get drafted to becoming one of the most recognizable faces in the entire sport while playing for the game's most popular team? Because there was a specific strategy he used to grow not only his popularity, but also his business, even though he almost failed before ever getting started.
You didn't have any money. No money.
Well, we're about to find out, because this is the story of the improbable rise of Jackson Olson, second baseman for the Savannah Bananas. Thank you to Smackin' Sunflower Seeds for sponsoring this video. Jackson Olson was born on October 6, 1997 in New Milford, Connecticut. His dad Dan played college basketball at a Division III school in Wisconsin, a talent he obviously passed down to his son, who went on to be a standout three-sport athlete in high school. But while football or basketball might have made more sense for a 6'2", 180-pound athlete, Jackson says that from the age of 10 on, baseball was his first love. Not only was it the sport he was best at, but it was also one he saw a future in. And after an impressive senior season at New Milford High School, where Jackson hit .464 with 23 RBIs and 14 extra base hits as a captain, he committed to the University of Hartford, a Division I school about an hour outside his hometown. He played here all 4 years, starting in 2017, and posted a career .288 batting average across 161 games. This was good enough to get him invited to play in a summer collegiate league in Cape Cod one summer in 2019, where he would have to make a decision that would change the trajectory of his entire career.
Yeah, so I was playing in the Cape Cod League. I was supposed to be in that league for 3 days. I was supposed to be a temp, just practice for one day with the guys, like figure out what the Cape is like. And then played 3 games, played really well in those 3 games. I went like 3-4 my first game, made a bunch of good plays at shortstop. And then about 3 weeks in, I get a call from the Diamondback scout, the head Diamondback scout. And he was like, we want to offer you a contract. It was going to be about $5,000. So I'm like, whatever, like, I don't care about the money, I want to go. And so I called my coach, called my dad, and they were like, go back to school, get a degree, and then get drafted next year. And if you have a good year, you're going to draft it. And then COVID happened. So their draft went from 40 rounds down to 5 rounds the next year. So I thought in myself, I thought I could go from 30 to 35, like those rounds. That's where I was like, I can end up there. But it was like 5 rounds. So never ended up working.
This led Jackson to transfer to Stetson University, a small Division I school of around 4,000 kids between Jacksonville and Orlando, Florida, where he played his 5th year. But something inside him felt different.
After my first video went viral, it was a video about playing baseball in the South versus the North. And it's actually kind of funny that I was foreshadowing playing baseball in the South. But it was really cool because I had that viral video and I'm like, that's when I realized this can be it. Like, this could be the thing. I obviously wasn't making money for the first year I was doing it. Yeah. Didn't care. I was just like, this is cool. My parents didn't really understand it at first, but they were getting in videos during COVID. They were like, you're getting a lot of views, but like, are you making money off this? And I'm like, a little bit on the creator fund, but not much. And now it's my full-time job and I wouldn't be making more money doing anything else.
Yeah. What did you see in the platform at that time? Was it a promise of monetary gain? Was it a promise of popularity? Like what were you putting stock into?
I think it's really cool, like that I'm playing for the Bananas now, because it was the same idea of like just keeping people engaged and like making people excited about my life and what I'm doing. And now I'm able to combine both of those things. But at first it was just like make people laugh, maybe make people cry. I make a lot of videos about my story and about my parents and like how they've helped me through everything in the journey. And so, yeah.
Now by 2021, Jackson was already a year into posting TikToks, coming into his first season at Stetson with over 10,000 followers. But it didn't take a full year for him to see the potential of this relatively new social media platform. But while this kind of content seemed cool to make while he was living at home with his parents during the pandemic, entering a Division I baseball locker room while making TikTok content proved to be a different story.
What's the chatter around a college locker room as you're posting a TikTok video every single day?
It was tough.
Yeah, was it?
It was, I mean, at first, like I would try to get people in them. But then I'm like, I just need to do this on my own, because I heard rumblings behind my back. I heard stuff like being chatted around different teams too, like not just my baseball team, but like other teams, other people in the school I think I hit like 10,000 followers, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, not a lot of people at that time had 10,000 followers. It's 2019. And so to be able to like just keep going and keep like pushing through to get to a place like this, and like get to a place that I want to be, working with my favorite brands in the entire world, like it wouldn't have happened if I just stopped.
Now, the best example of this karma playing out in real time is probably a clip you've already seen. It's from a March 12, 2021 game between Stetson and number 23 ranked Alabama, when this happened.
Your head on my...
The video is actually still pinned to Jackson's profile, but not because of how viral it went. Instead, it seems to act as a sort of reminder to Jackson that there will always be haters. And trust me, later in this video, he talks about them. But first, it's important to realize that as Jackson was finishing the baseball season at Stetson, he wasn't sure what he was going to do next. Should he still try and play professional baseball, get a job in marketing with his degree, or continue grinding social media, even though he wasn't making much money at the time? He obviously decided on the last option, opting to live at home for 3 months while working as an Instacart shopper and posting at least once per day on TikTok. But then, just as he did back in 2019, when he decided not to sign with the Diamondbacks organization, he made another decision that, on the outside, looked to be a little crazy.
So after Stetson, that's when I realized it was done. I'm done. I moved to California. I started just doing working like with small companies, and then Major League Baseball reached out. When Major League Baseball reached out, I was still thinking like, do I want to play indie ball? Like, do I want to keep playing? I don't know. There's opportunities, and then Major League Baseball reached out, and I'm like, all right, they want me to rank every single Major League Baseball stadium, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that. I don't care about playing baseball anymore. I'm gonna go to these stadiums and do that. But then 3 months into doing that, I was going to these stadiums, and I'm like, I want to play in these stadiums, and now we're playing in those stadiums.
Yeah. Do you remember that first significant amount of money you made making content? The Major League Baseball was probably
that was pretty good,
point.
but yeah, it was. I started working with Gatorade, and that was when I was like, okay, holy crap. Like this could be my job. However long social media goes on, however long I stay like relevant, I don't even know. But it was pretty crazy seeing that. And I told my parents, and they were like, from posting videos, like that's what's happening. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I don't get it.
So you moved out without any, like I assume your finances were not planned out the rest of the year. You
didn't have any money.
No money.
I had a little bit, like maybe a little bit saved up from Instacart. I was Instacarting for a while.
Yeah.
Which is a huge part of my story too, of how I gained followers making videos doing Instacart.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. But yeah.
Now, you've probably noticed that Jackson keeps bringing up working with the MLB and this thing called the Creator Class, and for good reason. Because it was that deal with Major League Baseball that changed Jackson's life more than anything else. More than transferring to Stetson, more than moving to California, and even more than turning down the Diamondbacks less than 2 years prior. However, on the surface, his agreement with Major League Baseball didn't seem like a very good deal. Now, in my opinion, no baseball game is complete without a bag of sunflower seeds, and there's no better bag of seeds than Smackin' Seeds. Now, I have to be honest with you, Smackin' holds a special place in my heart, and not just because they have the biggest seeds and the best flavors on the market. Their founders, Cole and Brian, actually went to the same college as me, and they started Smackin' out of their dorm room with less than $5,000, all while going up against brands that are literally 100 years old. But Brian and Cole did something that none of these other brands thought to do. They posted on social media. Quickly, Smackin' became the most followed sunflower seed brand of all time, and Cole and Brian went from selling 5 bags a day out of their college apartment to selling millions of bags per month. But these guys aren't just a cool story, because their jumbo seeds come in a bunch of delicious flavors. My favorite is dill pickle, and now if you use my code bananas15, you can get 15% off your next order. Plus, when you buy Smackin', you're not only supporting this channel, but you're also treating yourself to the best baseball snack available. Just click the first link in the description or go to smackinsunflowerseeds.com, use code bananas15, and get 15% off your next order. Now back to Jackson Olson.
You're in the creator class, and my understanding is the expectation is you post 12 videos throughout the program. Was there a promise at the end of this program where they're like full-time job or brand deal with MLB? How was it pitched to you?
Yeah, no, there was no promise of anything. Okay. It was literally just, we're gonna test this thing out. We're the first sports league in America or in the world to try a creator class. Like, what is that? I think NFL is trying it now. But I realized, like, if I post a bunch of videos that do really well, someone is gonna notice it. I don't know, like one company has to notice it. And that's when Game Time, the ticket app, reached out and they were like, we want you to go to every single stadium. We had to post 12 videos. I think during that 3-month time, I posted like 60 or 70 videos for Major League Baseball. And not like, it didn't have to be an ad like, hey, go to this baseball game today, here are the tickets. Like, it was more so make baseball fun. And it all correlates back to the bananas. Like, I was making baseball fun, and now I'm here. It's like, that's cool.
Are they paying you a flat rate for those 12 videos and you're just going above and beyond?
Yeah, and it was not a lot for those 12 videos. But then Game Time reached out, and me going to one Major League Baseball stadium and making one video was more than I made doing all of the creator class. So like it all ends up working out. Like, I don't know, like work above your pay grade. That's what I mean, you have to do that.
Is that the time where you're like, okay, now I can, maybe I can plan a trip in 6 months because I know I'm not going to be broke? Or are you still got to live in, I'll call paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, definitely. Really? I was still like, and the cool thing there, like the DirecTV thing happened where I got that deal, and then Adobe reached out, and I was kind of accepting every deal because I'm like, people are going to pay me money to post one video. So I was doing a bunch of them, and then I realized like, okay, maybe I should slow down and like accept the ones that I really want to do. And so I could have not lived paycheck to paycheck, but I decided to like force myself to do that. I only wanted to accept the ones that like were perfectly aligned with me and like what I do.
So just to clarify, Jackson essentially leveraged the great access he got by being in MLB's Creator Class for the opportunity to create over 6 times the number of videos he was getting paid for, just for the off chance he'd get seen by another brand. And, well, it worked. Jackson proceeded to get paid far more than he ever had before to travel the country with another brand to make videos ranking MLB stadiums. But it was during this trip that he had a realization.
So during that tour, I was at, I think I was at Minnesota, Twin Stadium, on the field, making videos, recording. And I'm like, I just want to play. Like, I just want to play again. Went back to my hotel that night, just laying in bed, scroll on TikTok. The kid is now on our team, which is the coolest thing ever, Ty Jackson. I saw Ty on my feed, and I'm like, I see this yellow guy in a yellow tux, like they're both dancing. I'm like, this is baseball, but what is this actually? So I kept going through videos on their page, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if they play in a league. I don't know if it's college kids. I don't know if they're 17 or 30. I don't know, but I'm like, this is so cool. So I reached out. I didn't reach out. I made a video reaching out, basically. And I was like, when you're finally okay with not playing baseball anymore, and then it pans to like a bunch of videos of the Savannah Bananas. So I basically was telling Jesse in that video, like, I was okay with not playing, but then I saw you guys and now I want to play again.
Yeah.
And then he reached out, and then it happened. How did he reach out? Through TikTok DMs. I still have the screenshots and everything. It's crazy.
So he DM'd you, and what did he say? Like, did he have to pitch you on the shed, or what was that like?
Would love to work, saw your video, loved it, would love to work together somehow. So then Savannah, who was our content girl at the time, she reached out through email and was like, would love for you to come make some content for a weekend. And I'm like, that would be cool, but I also want to play. Like, I don't want to take videos of you guys. I want to be in the videos. Like, I want to be one of those people. And then I went on a couple of phone calls with Jesse, and they decided they were going to do this summer series for 6 games. And I'm like, all right, even if I play 6 games, that's fine. I'll go back to working with Major League Baseball, like doing whatever, kind of being lost still in California. And then they decided they were going to do a tour. And they're like, we want you to be on this tour. And I'm like, that's it. Here we go.
Do you remember that moment of finding out? What was that like?
It was amazing. So I was at the College World Series with Trevor Fonstrom, another content creator. And he was making a video. I was filming a video with him and the Arkansas Razorback mascot. I remember the exact moment. I was filming it, and I see my phone, I pick it up, and in all caps, I put his name as Jesse Bananas with like 18 banana emojis, so I would never miss anything. And I see it, I'm like, we didn't talk in a month. I thought he forgot about me. And I pick up the phone, he's like, hey, you want to come down and play? You'll be our third baseman for the summer series. And I'm like, Trevor, I'm sorry, I can't record this video anymore. Like, I got to just freak out. And so the rest of the time in the College World Series, all I could think about was I wanted to tell everyone. I was like, I wanted to tell a 12-year-old kid, like, how I'm playing for the Bananas. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was so excited.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Jackson joined the team in August 2022 and has been with them ever since. During that time, he's amassed over 1.7 million followers on TikTok, more than every team in Major League Baseball, including his childhood favorite New York Yankees. But it wasn't just his follower count that I wanted to talk to him about. I was also curious to learn about how the sausage gets made, and more specifically, how signing a deal with the Bananas is different from a normal athlete contract.
So we can do whatever we want. We just can't if we use the Bananas licensing in videos, this is like a big part of the contract. Like, we use Bananas licensing, you have to pay the Bananas 30% of what you make, but you get 70%. So it's like, obviously if you're wearing your Bananas jersey and you're showcasing the Bananas, the video is probably gonna do well. So like, that's cool because brands love that, video's doing well, and then you have to give them 30%, but like, I can work with Gatorade, Reebok, all these other companies, and they don't care.
Now, this was the first time I had ever heard a member of the team talk about the details of their deal, and it genuinely blew my mind. But the more I thought about it, the more genius I realized it was, especially for the team. I mean, just think about it. The Savannah Bananas are famous for removing any and all advertising from their stadium and social media content. But it also means that they're missing out on tens of millions of dollars every year in sponsorship revenue. But by licensing out their brand to their own players in exchange for 30%, the team still gets to make money through sponsorships without having to sacrifice their own brand image. But then Jackson told me that the team actively takes it a step further and will actively bring partnership opportunities to its players like they did recently for Jackson and 2 other guys with Uncrustables. Again, the Savannah Bananas don't actually have to post about Uncrustables, but they're still getting paid for the deal. And at the end of the day, if players like Jackson are getting more exposure and more brand deals because of this arrangement, it's a win-win. Now, what Jackson didn't tell me was how much money he makes playing for the team. However, he did say that only about 20% of his annual earnings come through his Bananas salary, with the rest coming from his own partnerships with brands like Reebok, Gatorade, and Subway. But I was still curious about one more thing, whether or not he thinks playing for the Savannah Bananas is a sustainable career, and how he handles it when people tell him it's not.
Someone actually posted a TikTok the other day, and he was like, so those banana hammock boys, like, what are they gonna do after this is done? Like, all they do is dance and play baseball. Like, they're all gonna be like used car salesmen after this, like blah, blah, blah. We were thinking about making a video, like responding to it, like as a joke, but we're like, no. But seeing that, you realize like no one actually knows what you're doing in life. No one knows that I'm working with Gatorade, Reebok. Like they see videos that I post, maybe they see Rack making his content, they see Dalton, Ryan, but like, we're all setting ourselves up for this and like for the next steps. Cause we know I might play another year and they might be like, Jackson, you're gone. There's a second baseman who's much better and all this, whatever. So like, I'm just trying to set everything up for the future. And whatever anyone says about that, like, who cares?
How much do you think about the career span of what it's like to be a Savannah Banana? Because we've never seen that play out before. You know, in the MLB, You're like, maybe 10 years, then you're kind of done. What do you think about what the career span could be?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, we have no one to look at. We have no, like, maybe in 20 years when this is still going, like, and there's a league and there's all this awesome stuff happening in 20 years, like, guys can ask us about that, but I have no idea. I'll play for me. I could play for as long as I want, like, as long as they want me. Yeah. So I'll play for 15 years if they want me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, there's no, I mean, Bill Leroy and Kyle Lewis have played here for 7 years and they're still young and they're still having fun. Like, I feel like it's when you stop, like, having that character that you built and being exciting, that's probably when they're going to be like, you want to be a coach?
Yeah.
You probably also caught Jackson mentioning something about a Savannah Bananas league. He actually talks more about the importance of that in the full interview I did with him, which is linked below or on Spotify and Apple. Thanks again to Jackson for sitting down with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.